Okay, hi everyone. So this is our second challenge. I'm very excited to see you all here again. I just want you to know, I was thinking about that on break that it makes me totally excited and happy just to see you guys again and see the stuff that you're doing. So we are a group of independent designers, all at different stages in our learning and in success. And our mission is to support indie designers that are working inside sustainable and upcycled parameters to make commercially viable garments. And our support includes really anything we can think of: cross promotion, blah, 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 education, collaboration, emotional support, goal setting, accountability, info sharing. But the big thing that we do is we get together here on Zoom and decide what we're going to make. And then we have a couple days and then we come back and show each other what we made. So who wants to tell us what they're making this time?
I will start. My thought process is little colored shirts for, I guess I'm going to say boys, that are pink and in the pink floral genre, because there aren't enough of those out in the world. I looked on Etsy and couldn't really come up with any. And I know that a lot of parents are trying to make a broader field of clothing available to their kids. So I'm going to hit the preschool market and do like a size 4 child size shirts. I think I have a pattern I haven't dug yet. I am going to start with my husband's shirts, but still trying to get quality cotton in a men's dress shirt and then cut them down. So that's my goal. I've gone to the thrift store a few times, and usually I already have fabric saved, but I hadn't had this project in my mind, and I'm having a hard time finding really nice quality fabric. So I need one more trip to the thrift store and then I'll get going.
Super. I don't know if you have a Buy Nothing group. Where are you again, Anne?
Oh, I do. Olympia.
Olympia. I've had great
Yeah.
luck finding things. Like I've put into Buy Nothing for an ask, hey, I'd love to have some cashmere sweaters that you're done with and things like that. So it's also worth
Really?
trying that. Just wanted to throw that out.
Good idea. A used shirt at Goodwill yesterday was $5.99, and I thought that was too much money to pay to make a little kid's shirt. So yeah, I'll do the Buy Nothing.
Yeah, if you were here in Seattle, I did a pop-up shop last summer where I basically told people they could give me their donations in exchange for clothes. And I mean, it's just, I'm like a pack rat right now. I have men's shirts. I could load you up with those.
Wow. Fun.
Oh, I have a lot of like flannel ones. Ugh.
Yeah.
Have you gone to St. Vincent de Paul?
We don't have a St. Vincent de Paul down here. We have Goodwill, and I went to Goodwill by the pound, which I love, but just wasn't seeing those colors. I haven't gone to Value Village yet, and I haven't asked the neighborhood free site, so I'll do those.
No, and sometimes they have in the section that I always go, the curtain and material, you can find stuff.
Yeah.
Like pieces, since it's gonna be little.
Yeah.
Have like remnants, little pieces you can.
Yeah. Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that. I also think some florals would be fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Any input you want from the group or?
No, it's been a long time since I made clothing. So yeah, it'll be exciting.
Awesome. Cool. Do you have a model in mind for your dress form or anything? Or
I do have 2 little twin nephews that are size 4. So hopefully I can get a pair and get a picture.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, who wants to go next?
I go next. Again, my challenge is with the curtains. I like this fabric is like a taffeta polyester, I think it is. It's a curtain, as you can see. And it has this pattern at the end. It's really see-through-y and really pretty. So I decided to make a cocktail dress with this part to be on the top and then the other one on the bottom. Very simple, but you know, I think it's very commercial because it can be for any age. And the length, I'm gonna do it under the knee. I don't know if you can see my sketch.
Oh yeah, it's good when you hold it up like that.
I'm gonna try to implement as on the waistline these things. I'm gonna see how it goes and maybe go through like a ribbon or something with a bow. We'll see how my challenge will be.
Well, I love the translucent pattern. I think your choice of fabric is really beautiful.
Yeah, it's you know, they always have, yeah, this is the translucent part that I'm gonna do on the top of the dress. That's why this is what really caught my attention when I went and buy it. It's really pretty. So yeah, and this is really soft and not too stiff. So let's see how it goes.
And is that part of your wedding party collection? It kind of looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So let's see.
Excellent. And any input you want from the group?
Yeah, and well, how I'm gonna make this part, if anybody has an ideas.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as excited about that part as the other parts, but that's, I think, because it's the interesting part, right? So there's part of me that's just like, oh, how is that going to work?
Well, yeah, is it a separate belt or do you put a backing on it so that it's the tummy's hidden?
This is gonna be like a belt.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting part because it's the most challenging. So I'm sorry, I don't have good ideas on that one. I really don't.
I mean, I wanted to use it as a belt, but I don't know how. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, could you take the rings? Could you take the rings and put them one on top of each other to make the ties of a belt? You know what I mean? Where you loop through one and then back around.
Oh, yeah, that too. I would like to know how to separate them from the.
You could end up with two circles in the front, one next to each other, and then have a tie that goes
between them
from one to the other.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Kind of like
like if it's a corset or something that goes one circle and another circle and the tie on that. Okay.
Yeah.
It could almost make an infinity sign too, which was very fitting for a wedding. You know, with the two circles. If the two circles cross, it makes an infinity sign, you know, which is rather fitting for a wedding, you know.
Oh, like the rings.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I think the rings, are they brown? They don't look like they're gold like the
No, it's not brown. Let's see if I can get it really close.
Oh yeah, it's sort of pretty. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of it will be kind of like this. See?
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of goes with a color theme.
Yeah. Can you put the picture closer to the camera and just hold it there for a second? Or the sketches?
Oh, the sketches?
Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
Oh yeah, one thing that I want to recommend people do, and I tried doing it today, which is before we meet, take a phone photo of your sketch so that we can share screen and really see it really clearly when we're talking about it. Okay. I am going to go next, and I'm going to share my screen so I can do pretty much what I was just talking about. I'm sharing my screen. So I actually have a question for the group that has, I should have asked this earlier, that doesn't have to do with my design, but I made a pair of jeans for a friend of mine, and it's a rework rather. And so I took out the inseam and did a nice saddle across the butt, and the design was pretty cute, but it was too tight, so I put an extra strip in the middle, and now I got this crotch thing going on here that is not a good fit anymore. Does it make sense? So it was too tight, so that I just put an extra 1 inch all the way through the entire inseam. And it looks like it's pulling at the hips. Like when I look at this, when I back up and look at the bigger picture, like if I look at the stress lines, they're there. And she can pull them up to her waist and belt them, and it kind of goes away, but it's just not compared to, she put her own jeans back on and they weren't doing any of that nonsense. So I wondered if anybody is good at fit and knows how.
You started the curve right where the finish of the zipper is? Because it looks like you have extra there and you need to curve it.
Yeah, I didn't add anything here. I added just in the inseam because I cut out this area that's all the blue fabric, and I put it onto some other jeans and used the old pant to trace the new piece. So it was exactly like the old one, except it all came out too small because apparently my sewing and cutting isn't precise enough. So then I added this much right down the middle. So this curve didn't change at all. The curve between the bottom of the zipper and the middle of the crotch is exactly the same, but there's an extra.
Is it the same type of material?
Some of the jeans originally she had more stretch to them than the new pieces.
The black looks like a heavier fabric, but I think Maria has a point. When you go at the bottom of the zipper, that 1 or 2 inch spot is straight and not curved. If you could take that apart and overlap them, create a curve.
But it is curved. Like if I took that middle piece of fabric out and you looked at it, the curve is exactly the same as it was before. So it looks like it's coming down straight, but the fabric is actually cut at a curve.
Yeah, but what happened is that when you added that, you added a little bit extra. So if you were to take out, if you look at that line that goes above right here, if you were to take that out when you add it, then it would fit more contour to the body. Right. Okay, you see, if you see that line, it looks like there's that line. So if you were
this one,
yes, and take that curve right up a little bit close, right where that edge.
That too.
Out, then it will fit more contour to the body when it's versus sitting up because you have that extra fabric.
Yes,
okay. So it changed where the curve is happening.
Yes, you want to go up a little bit more.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
You don't have a lot of room there to play around.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask about that. So then today I want your help choosing between, this is what I always like to do, is like, oh, I have 2 ideas back here. So one is sort of, and I'm thinking this is like a party dress for a teen girl. So I have a gold brocade jacket. That's one source. And I have a teal sweater with a lot of red print on it. I'm totally cutting the love out. And it's just up on my dress form because I'm thinking about how it'll go, but I'm thinking the neckline will cut that out eventually. So, so those are the fabrics. And there is also on that teal sweater, there's at the base of it, there's this really long kind of ribbed hem that I want to use for the neckline. So this is,
that's beautiful.
What I'm thinking of doing with it. I don't know where this fabric is coming from. Oh, and one of the design principles that I'm sort of working on here is, my husband teaches software development, and one of the problems with the industry is people make software as if it's never going to change. And so then these companies get these giant rat's nests of software that they can't change. So he teaches them to make things with the expectation of change. So I'm trying to design with the idea that keep as much of the fabric intact as I can. So it's a jacket and I'm really just trying to redrape it and cut pieces out and sew it together with something else, but keep the jacket pieces intact. So if I later wanted to rework it again, I could. So it's sort of a zero waste concept that I'm sort of working with and designing it to be, again, recycled in a year or two. So that's sort of my idea here. And taking really similar principles. That's my one option. And the other option is sort of a leopard print. What's great about this one, so first of all, there are 3 garments that are going into the making of this. This is, I've put it on the back of the dress form where I would use it in the design. This is just an Asian top that has a satin, it's polyester, but it's really nice rayon here. So it's comfortable against the skin. It has lace elements in it, right? So when you see it closer, you can tell that that was lace. And then, oops, wrong pile. And then I've again kind of draped it on the dress form. So this is a silk leopard sort of pattern print. And hold on, this guy it doesn't roll, my vintage dress form, so I'll just point to it on the screen. The slits just come up to here right now, but I would take the side slits up higher so that I could tie this at the waist. And I'd probably take one of these strips and add some fullness into the skirt so that it's a little fuller. So again, the way it's pinned on the form, I mean, it hasn't been taken apart, so it doesn't really show the design. Okay, so this is the idea for this one. So between those two, which do you guys feel is, what do you like, or and is there something that you think I should try and do differently, like, you know, make this a full skirt instead of having a black area, or, you know, suggestions, or what do you like?
The black area will be part of the lace. You can mix the.
I think I have enough of the 2 front pieces from the Asian top to fill in this. Actually, no, the part of, here, let me stop screen sharing so I can show you what the fabric availability is. So it's the back of this.
Oh, okay.
I kind of wanted to use the top part of this inside, but I could leave the back open so this V could come down so that I have enough for the front of the skirt. I'm sorry, I have my microphone off. I just realized.
No,
I don't know if
we still listen to you.
We got you.
Okay, I kind of thought you could, but so that's what the availability. And then I have just a slip that I'm using to make the interior lining, because this is a very translucent kind of flowy silk.
Yeah, yeah.
And so those are kind of the 2 things that I'm sort of going between and how I'm thinking of using things.
I really like the idea of the other one with the blue.
Yeah,
color.
with the color. The first one, I think
With the colors that pop.
Yeah, and the different combinations, but I'm a little confused if you said you were gonna try to reclaim the jacket later on. Does that mean the sleeves are still set in and part of the skirt?
Yeah, so this is a sleeve here, and it hangs like a pleat, basically. Okay.
And then do you just turn the cuff up so that it matches the hem length?
I'm hemming it to the same distance, and then I'll top stitch a little bit here, right? So that it's basically gonna stay that way and look like, it doesn't look much like a sleeve when it's hanging here. So, but it'll need some pressing, and then it has interesting lines on the butt, and these pockets need to come off. And I might have to take part of the inside of the sleeves out to fill this area.
Right.
Because I don't think there's enough facing. I
Right.
could get another inch out of the facing here. But also I'm looking at, my model is a 15-year-old girl. I think she's a size 4 to 6.
Good.
And this dress form is, I think, a 12. So
Oh, yeah.
when
Yeah,
I
it will be-
stick it on my vintage dress form instead, it may be that that area is not that big.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if I get stuck on fabric, I'll probably switch to the other project
Gotcha.
or make it blue instead of red, because I
Yeah.
think I'll have, I could shorten the sleeves on the sweater. So I'm not being zero waste, but I'm thinking about preserving as much fabric content as I can for future. Like this could be a vest in the future. This could
Mhm.
be, you
Mm.
know, a short sleeve sweater maybe. I don't know. Like I don't know what it'll be in it, or a skirt.
I love the textures in that and the color.
And the colors.
The
blue
red,
one.
yeah, and plus
Yeah.
it feels really fitting right before Valentine's Day. It looks like something kind of fun and a
Okay.
unique take on that.
So the
kinda-
this is more of a party dress than the other one.
Yeah, maybe, or just timing, I guess.
Okay, so I'm kind of hearing people sort of leaning towards this, and I'm happy with that. Mercedes, I
Yeah.
think you're next in terms of telling us what you want to do.
I'm still trying to decide what I'd like to do. I have a few materials. I kind of like my specialty or focus to be on Pendleton still, like the full wool remnants, but I'm thinking like it's going to be spring, summer. I don't want to do a jacket. So I'm leaning towards maybe a bag.
I haven't seen your bags yet, though. I would love to see a bag.
A bag. So this is
Mhm. Oh,
what I
wow.
started with was I
Nice.
seen a lady that had these zippers, and I was sold when I seen those little salmon zippers. And so I created these different bags with all this different hardware and
Your
Wow.
detail work is awesome.
And so all these, the inside I got from the D-Stash sites, the fabric. And so I bought the hardware. And so all these Pendleton pieces are just scraps. And the
Wow.
vinyl
That's
is
so
from,
cool. It's really so cool.
let me see. And so they're all different color
That's
Pendleton.
so cool.
And then finding that fabric inside that kind of
Ooh.
contrasted a little bit, but still matches
Gosh.
with the
Beautiful.
liner fabrics. And so I've done this
Wow.
one, and these are little clutch purses,
Wow.
and these are pretty fairly like really basic beginner. And so I thought about challenging myself and doing maybe a little bit more intermediate advanced, either handbag or purse
Uh-huh.
with these new designs or with the
Wow.
new pattern.
They're beautiful.
There's
Yay.
Bonus.
Beautiful.
Okay, here, I'll stop the screen share. Oh yeah, you went back. Good.
Wow.
I can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
I am still not sure what I'll be. You know, I'm kind of debating between doing something that I've sketched already or doing this swimsuit challenge. My son wants a leather jacket. I am not sure.
Oh, tell us what you've sketched already. Show us some sketches and tell us about your son's leather jacket, and we'll help you decide.
So let's see. So I was thinking this, I'm not, I really am so undecided. So I have this sketch right here that I thought that I may do something, pantsuit kind of thing, or let's see.
Oh yeah, you went away.
Or I have a photo shoot that I want to do. I may
Oh wow.
go ahead and use the challenge and do. So I am not sure. I
Wow.
am not sure.
Do you have fabric for both?
Well, I have fabric for both, but in the realm of the challenge using something upcycled, I don't. So I'd have to run to the thrift store and maybe grab some fabric or
Mhm.
grab some old sheet, bed skirts or something and see what happens.
Well, I just initially had this one is this is much more editorial and elaborate and exciting. The one that you're showing us here. Oh, there's Lauren. She totally
Yay.
just woke up. I'm going to just tell her to join us as soon as she can. You keep talking without me, guys.
I think that would be pretty amazing.
What, this one?
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to do. So, well, I guess I'll challenge. And what today's what? Sunday?
Yeah.
Let's do it tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah, that one looks a little ambitious for our time frame is the only thing.
I envision that other one on you walking out the door when we're free to roam again.
Oh, the first one. I was
Yeah.
actually thinking of using myself as the model if I did the other one.
Yeah, going out to a restaurant for Valentine's Day and
Yeah.
drinking wine.
What, that next year?
I know. Let's set up an outdoor thing.
Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Where were we? Yanique, you were also telling us about your son's jacket that he wants.
Mhm.
And why can't you wait to do the swimsuit challenge?
I mean, I can. Like I said, I'm very indecisive. I have 4 things in my head and I don't know which one is going to happen.
Okay, let's just make the swimsuit be your next one after this, just to make now you have 3 things in your head.
Okay. Well, that narrowed it down.
All right, and your son wants what kind of a jacket? Are you excited to make it?
Because he does walk in my shows, so he tends to get what he wants anyways. So that's something that he wanted. The last show that I did that he was a part of, that's what he wanted, but it didn't work with the collection. So he's been bugging me about it. So
Does it work with your next collection, the one that he wants? Are you working on a collection it'll fit into, or?
No, I am showing in one of those like mini New York Fashion Week in November or October, if the world is still around. No, I don't think it will work in that one either.
Well, I say, how old is he?
He is 13.
Oh, wow, that's still, yeah. Because I was gonna say if he's in his 20s, he can friggin' wait, but 13, they really need their mommies to care.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Oh Lord.
Well,
mean-
I'm excited about that very editorial sketch that you showed us. So I don't know if it helps to hear that, but that's
I have a photo shoot to do that. I need to come up with something. So this may just be the perfect challenge.
well, when's the photo shoot?
Last week.
Oh, yeah, this is the perfect time.
Yes, I am behind schedule.
Oh, yeah. Any other input from the group?
I agree with what's been said. I think that that's just an amazing sketch, and I'm impressed you would attempt it in the amount of time. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I saw a text from Lauren when she got up, and I said join us as soon as you can, but she's not here, and I think we're mostly all wrapped up. So I'm gonna just say goodbye to our YouTube viewers, us and our 3 friends, and we'll finish out a little bit of meeting after that. But thanks for anybody that's a fellow designer that's upcycling with us, and we would love your input on what you like about our designs. So feel free to comment. Okay, see you in a couple days. Okay, there it is. Recording. Okay, hi. So welcome to our Fashion Rebellion. That's our new group name. We're a group of fashion designers that are supporting each other in exploring sustainable and recycled and upcycled types of projects. And we're mostly doing that by with 2-day challenges where we get together, show each other what we want to do, and come back and show each other what we did. But we're also trying to support each other just in every way that we can think of, with cross promotions, education, collaboration, friendship, accountability, sharing of info, just every way that we can help each other along. That's what we're trying to do. And today we have Joan Kelly with us. And Joan, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm like 110 years old at this point. I can't even believe it, but 35 years in the business. And I pretty much have done everything from inception, conception to end user. And I've done, so I've worked on pretty much all aspects of the supply chain. And I've produced fashion shows and events as well. So runway shows mostly. I spent 17 years teaching at the Art Institute, and I just saw a lot of life go by. It was very interesting. Most of the 2000s and 2010s, I was there. And at this point, I'm in high-end luxury at Mario's, and I'm back to retail, which is very interesting at this time because we're really with a really unbelievable company that's probably going to make it. And cash is king, and these people are extremely smart, especially in the luxury market. And it's still a independently owned, like 8-store operation. So that part of it, it's great to like be with definitely the high of the high end and see how the top 1.111% is spending their money.
That's cool. What's your specific job right now then?
At Mario's,
Uh-huh.
I'm the shoe lady and the bag lady, and I sell jewelry. So I really concentrate.
So being the shoe lady means you purchase and or decide on designs, or what?
No, I'm like in charge of the shoes for, I'm in charge of the shoes with another person in Seattle. So we're in charge of driving that business with the shoes and the bags. And we also, all of us, drive the jewelry business, which is high end, and like designers that you would see in like Town and Country. So I mean, it's exciting because all of a sudden, like our store in Westport, Connecticut, did over 5 million this Christmas in just jewelry.
Wow. So
I mean, there's
what
big money.
specifically does being in charge, is it on the promotional side? You reach out to designers, or the designers send you?
Sales and marketing. No, it's all high-end sales, all high-end sales.
Sales, okay.
We merchant the line for the Northwest region.
Got it. Okay. So your high-end sales for one of the top chains to the 1%. You're selling to the 1%, basically.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Cool.
Wow.
What advice do you have for independent designers? We're all at the sort of opposite end of our careers and our lives. What advice do you have to us?
Personalization is selling. So I'm interested to see what you're doing as far as this upcycle and recycle, because it's definitely selling. And I think definitely upcycle and recycle is fabulously COVID chic and totally COVID creative, and there is money to be made. So I'm excited to see that.
Wow. Okay. So really, like, to sell to that market, we probably need to get our detail work up to snuff. Like if we're going to upcycle and recycle, to make something that's also really polished at the same time would be important, or?
Not necessarily polished, but it needs to be well constructed. It just can't look home ec, but it can totally look ratty and beaten up.
Okay, great. Well, we lost Yanique there. So my room.
You understand the difference?
Yeah. So well constructed doesn't have to look polished, but it shouldn't look like a craft project.
It can't look like home ec, but it can totally look. There's a difference between, I think, we just can't make it look home ec. We have to make it look definitely just well constructed and cool. There's a difference. Okay. There's a nuance.
Well, maybe as we're looking at the pieces, you can help delineate that for us. What do you think, some of your hardest won lessons from your career?
The hardest lessons, you got to know when it's time to pivot.
Can you give an example?
There's just like certain times where maybe if like right now, I think that you ladies, I don't know, it seems like it's all ladies on the phone, right?
Yeah,
On
we
the
all
Zoom?
have ladies right now. Yeah.
Okay. So, and we're older. This
Yeah,
is
but
not,
we're talking about recruiting some guys into our group.
we're older. This is not our first career. We've all done other things at this point in our lives, and it would have, for myself personally, I would have there were certain opportunities that were just not available, and when it was time to hop on those opportunities, like becoming very tech savvy, becoming very computer savvy and organized in all of the programs and everything that's going on, I should have hopped on that a lot sooner.
I see. Okay, great. Do we have any questions from the group for Joan before we jump into critiques? And a question for you, Joan, do you want to moderate the critiques? So take us from designer to designer and I can shut up, or would you like me to keep doing this sort of moderator thing?
No, I'll just jump. You guys do you, and I'll jump in when you need me.
Okay. Any other questions for her?
I'm excited that I can bounce some ideas off of you.
It's nice to see you, Joan.
Wow, I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I went blonde since my head is all white already, so I decided to.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's jump in. It's Yanique is first today. So Yanique, go ahead and tell us what you've done.
This is the design that I went with, and I kind of used different materials than what the initial were, since we're doing an upcycle challenge. So I went to the thrift store and browsed. I couldn't really find anything, and then I went into the drapery section and I saw this. It was a lot of fabric, so I figured, hey, let me try and see what I can get with this. So I'm going to show this quick video of what happened. So this is the drape that I found, and I had to rip it apart, take all the inner linings out, and I also purchased that belt, and that's my end result.
We don't see
So
it yet.
Oh, you can't see
Okay.
it? Oh, snap. I'm seeing it, and I thought I was sharing the screen.
You
All right.
are, because we're seeing your mouth.
We did your drawing.
Oh, but you're not seeing the video.
No.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's get back here. Let's stop share. And let me do that again with the video. All right, so share screen. We're gonna do this, share. Okay, so here we go.
Oh yeah, now we're seeing a
So,
video come up,
okay,
yeah.
so this is the drape that I got, and I got it for $4.99 because I am very frugal, so it was perfect. And yeah, separated, drew my pattern on the fabric, got all the pieces separated, and I got that belt to accessorize, and there we go.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
nice.
Wow.
Oh,
I don't know. I think I might be long. I don't think mine's coming up.
oh, it's not? Oh,
You're not seeing it?
Okay, here it comes.
yeah, you have a slow
Okay, so
connection, I
see
think.
the fabric.
That's cool.
How
did you get the collar to stay up?
So I used, I got, let me see if I have it right here. I don't see it, but
Joan, have you gotten a chance to see things so that we can switch back to
okay, let's do
Yeah.
that. Let's stop share.
well, wait, did you get a chance to see things?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So I got they have these electric wire that come in these metal tubes. So I took the casing off and I used the electric wire to put in, and I stitched it around so I can form the collar.
Nice.
Wow.
Very pretty.
So
Does it fit you, or it's?
Once you go to the thrift stores and the draper section, I just go there. It's straight and I start touching fabrics and start imagining things what I can do.
So let's do this. Okay, I can, so that way it's not in slow-mo.
Oh, yeah. And this is for your editorial shoot that you're doing
Yes, I
last
got it.
week.
Yes, so I have, yes, so there you go. So it'll work out perfect for that. And I'll go around, kind of go a little bit closer. So,
Your mannequin seems very busty.
oh, she is. So I'm hoping my model is just as busty.
Huh?
Is the belt sewn in or just attached on top?
So it's actually sewn.
Oh, and
So-
show us the top, the collar with the belt on it. That is so cool.
So there is that. And then I used the belt and then I added, I love buttons. So I made a button with the fabric to, you know, kind of accentuate that.
Does
And-
it have an invisible zip closure? Is that how it closes?
So.
Oh,
there's a-
yeah, I see down the back. Okay.
Yeah. And then the collar, yeah, I just figure it's Valentine's Day. Will work good with a little heart in the back.
Yeah, that's cute.
And the collar is removable. So,
That's cool.
yeah, so there she goes.
Wow. Good job.
Yep.
Now, how does it fit into, like, does it fit into another collection of pieces, or is it just for this one editorial shoot? Or
It's just for this shoot. Because I'm not even sure what my next collection is going to look like.
uh-huh. And where does the editorial shoot going? Is there a magazine that it's going to be
Yes.
published in, and
Yeah. So
is it a collaboration with a photographer you've worked
it
with
is a
before?
collaboration with a photographer, and we're gonna submit it to a magazine that we've submitted to in the past.
What's the magazine?
What was it called? Oh crap! Not oh snap. I think it's Meraki Tribe.
Oh, you went mute.
And where do you live?
Meraki
does she live?
Tribe. Meraki Tribe.
Where do you live?
I now live in Washington. Oh, I now live in Colorado. I just moved to Colorado last year.
Did you use a pattern for the bust?
No. So what I did is, I'll grab it for you in a second, show you what I did.
It looks like she's using similar fabric on the little dress behind her.
Mhm.
So this is what I did. So what I did is I do this technique where I tape the mannequin, then I take it off and I attach the tape to a paper, and that's how I do my pattern.
Wow.
And
And
the
then-
width of the tape is your seam allowance, basically, or something.
I added the seam allowance
Okay.
after,
So
Okay.
it's kind of like a drape, you drape before you sew.
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Drape, but
Wow.
with tape and cardboard on a hard mannequin rather than pins.
Yeah, I do
Nice.
it on the soft mannequin with pins too, but she's probably going to be closer to my model's size, so I
And do
decided.
you know what your model, who your model is yet in this collaboration? Or
I have two models that we were vetting, so hopefully it'll fit either or.
okay.
So, what do you usually do? What is your, do you have a job?
This is my job.
Okay, this is your job. And then, so do you have a way to make money from this? Do you have like a stream, an income stream?
So, you mean as in this being the income stream or a separate income stream?
Is this an income stream?
This is an income stream, yes. So
Okay,
this
so then how do you,
designing, I make so I do custom clothing. Most of my revenue comes from word of mouth or from promoting on my social media or my social media page, and from others that I've worked with, and word of mouth. And I'm also a crafter, so that kind of helps to supplement as well.
okay, and then how much would you charge for that dress retail?
So that one I was looking at 300.
Okay, you need to charge more.
Yeah, you sound like my husband.
Well, how does she reach,
The-
Joan, help us, how do we reach the market when we have something polished like what Yanique has done?
Well, she just spent so much time on that dress for $300, and I'm sure that like the pieces and everything that there's so much more work in that than she's not adding in her labor costs, right? So we have to come up with that's a lot of dress for $300. I mean, have you been out in the market? It's crap for $300.
Yeah.
But like where do you see this going? I think that I just know you mentioned something about African, but I would be like connecting with especially right now, Black designers are like, people are totally extremely excited about this because evidently there are not that many Black women designers in our industry. So we're standing behind you at this point. And I think that maybe we should be contacting like African-American museums and possibly seeing if there's like some sort of exhibit that's coming up or some sort of fundraiser or what's happening moving forward. And like the cities, maybe there's something in Colorado where you are, there's definitely something here. And like we need to find like Black women in your area that are like willing to partner with you and wear your clothes and get you out there. Makes sense?
Yes, it does. And I really appreciate that feedback. It's been a little challenge because like I said, we just moved here last year and I don't know Colorado like I know Washington where I could, go about get models, make the connection. And with COVID,
Right.
I'm trying to see if I can build that.
And Colorado Springs is a much smaller community than the Pacific Northwest.
In terms of fashion?
Well, and yeah, in terms of photographers, models, and people that
I learned that last year. Yes.
Well, you have the college there, right?
I am
You
not
have the
sure.
college there?
No, that's in Boulder.
Oh, that's Boulder? Okay.
No, where is Colorado State?
No, Colorado Springs is in, Colorado.
Okay, well, I do know that Colorado Springs happens to be a lovely resort area. That's all I really know about it.
Yeah.
But you know what, like now is like the time to like kind of investigate stuff like that. I totally get it with COVID and everything else. And like, we're all kind of like stuck.
Mhm.
But if you're making evening dresses at this point, we have to, you're going to have to fit like fundraisers. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. But I would think we're about 1.5 to 2 years off from that.
Mhm.
Once we all get vaccinated and everybody gets up and running again. So that's something that could totally be happening.
So maybe thinking of other like runway pieces for a fundraiser where she does a runway show and has several high-end pieces in a museum setting or a resort type of sponsored fundraising event.
Right.
So,
I mean, there's definitely.
And in a fundraiser, I have a question, Joan. In a fundraiser, do you change your retail price because half of it goes to your cause, or
I mean, there's like a few things you could do. Like when I first saw that dress, I thought, oh my God, we should put that on my girlfriend, Dana Frank. She's here in town. And her mom was actually the first Black Miss Seafair and in the 50s. And I was just like, that dress would be so awesome on her. And I could see her at the African-American Museum that we have in the Central District at some event with that dress on.
Mhm.
That's what immediately hit me.
Mhm.
So a celebrity.
So
museum
whether,
event.
yeah. The other thing too is, and I challenge all of you to come up with like affordable items that you guys can make and turn and sell and keep going to increase your revenue streams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, that we're going to kind of come up with. I mean, there's certain things. I love the fact that you chose that fabric. I think that it looks beautiful and like kind of like retroly fresh. For some reason, it looks like geographically retro and fresh at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you.
I love the coloring on the gold coloring or the bronze coloring pretty much on any color skin, because a lot of women do look fabulous in metallics, and the brown tones are definitely coming back in.
Awesome. Well, I wasn't even thinking about the tones. I just found the fabric and it grabbed me. That's one of the things that for me, I don't do a lot of research on what's in. I know that's something I need to get into. I work with the fabric. So I see a fabric and I go, okay, that's what she wants to be, and that's what she's going to be.
Well, that's really the way to do it, because I've seen so many people that come up with these ideas and then they put the wrong fabric in the wrong thing, and it looks ridiculous. That is obviously, it's unexpectedly fabulous. That's what I think about that dress.
Thank you.
But I also challenge you to make more ready-to-wear dresses. I mean, if you can get out dresses for $300, that kind of dresses actually, well, what they say right this second is two-piece dressing right now is going to be big. And a lot of people are definitely placing their buys and spending their money in two-piece dresses versus dresses right this second, because it's more versatile. We can wear a lot of things. We can dress it up, dress it down.
That's nice. Maybe I hear one of our challenge themes for after accessories is maybe a two-piece dress.
Yeah.
I do. I also think like in the fabric that you chose or something similar to that, great summer dresses, great summer shifts, short sleeve, sleeveless, little dresses are great. But short casual dresses that you could either dress up or dress down.
Okay. Short cut.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, I am absorbing everything and I'm taking notes.
Show me what else you're doing. How are you going to make $1 in that workroom? I see a lot going on.
Oh, I have a lot going on. Like I said, I am a crafter, so I do a lot of stuff to supplement my income. So I do, because I like over the top clothing. So I find myself that I don't do a lot of ready to wear. So I'll do stuff, I print mugs, I print t-shirts, I make all kinds of crafts. So this is my okay, hold on. I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you this is my very, very messy craft room. So I have my heat press, my printers, my everything.
Look at her. Let me see the mugs. How much are those retailing for?
So these are retailing for $17, and I do custom mugs. I do custom everything. So it's what you want is what you get. So these are some orders that I have going out for.
Oh, they're so pretty.
For these custom ladies.
How much are the mugs?
They're 17.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah. So
I think you should charge 24. But
once again, like I said, you sound very much like my husband.
So the thing is that like, I don't know how many, let's say if you had like 4 or 5 designs in the mugs, but then you could customize them with your whatever it is for that, but you leave the main graphic the same, but then you can like make it like, dear Joan, happy birthday, or whatever somebody wants when they make it.
Yes,
that's just the add-on.
I do those because even like with my clocks that I sublimate, I have clocks where people submit whatever they want, pretty much, and I'll get that on the whatever substrate that they choose.
So that's like easy peasy, get it out, turn and burn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you guys ready to move on? I'm designer number 2 for the day.
Go.
Yes.
Okay.
Staci.
So I'm gonna share my screen, share screen, share. And I've got, let's put our notes aside and all of our contact information aside. I have a little video to show you guys what I did. So first of all, there's the design and there's what it turned out that I made. And are you playing? Yes, you are. And I'm happy with a bunch of it and have a bunch of challenges. So first of all, when I put it on Eliana, I found out that it was just too short. So for the spin, I had her just wear her jeans. Also, it was freezing in the lawn this morning. So that's the back, and you can see it's a little, the sweater is too snug in the arms for her too. That's the back of the collar. She's got a lot of hair. And we'll look at it a little closer up. So she's showing you that I left some slits open because I wanted to show leg, and on my model, on my dress form that I put at 5'2", it really looked a lot longer than on a person. So I was like, oh, we need slits on top of it being short. There's a little bit of bunching up there. I interfaced behind the sweater so that it would attach to the dress. And then I had problems losing all of the elasticity in the sweater, and trying to figure out how to put zippers in. And at one point I put 2 side zippers in, and that's why we have the weird stripes on the back. This is from the back. I think it's kind of fun. I'm debating hemming the skirt all to one length, extending the front, and using some of the shortened areas to extend that very front. So you can see where I have trouble with my puckering, that I'm also thinking of pulling out and putting back in. I just didn't have enough time between then and now. This is how the inside looks when you come through it. This is just a close-up showing the collar details. There's a little tuck in the back of the collar. The way the fabric itself was fairly forgiving, and so I just had a slit for the collar rather than a round shaped one, and that's why there was a tuck back here. So this is the unresolved area. This is really just basted in for now so that I could put it on her and show you today, but you can see it's not finished in here. And one of my challenges was there's a big amount of fraying that the fabric would do. In order to put the zippers in, I put in interfacing so that it would hold together the fraying, so I used it like the glue from the interfacing to hold the fraying edges together. You can see how quickly this is fraying just by these scraps. So this is what was left with my ambitions of zero waste design, this and a bigger chunk, which I'll incorporate into another piece to shoot at the same time. So it's not quite photo ready, and it's probably never going to be retail ready because of the whole side zip thing. And my ambitions of being zero waste were pretty good on the skirt. I was pretty close on that. No, I think putting a zipper in on a bias is just a crazy thing to have to do. So one of my questions for the group and how to approach something like this later is, if you're putting a knit together with a woven, how to navigate that sort of waist area, I guess. Okay, so that's, I'm going to stop my screen sharing. So that's what I did. What I think worked out well is I do like the colors a whole lot. Like, I think they're fun. And the fabrics were both very, very cooperative. Aside from the fraying on the brocade, the brocade turned out to be 80% silk. So it was really a really cooperative fabric. And even though the top was acrylic, it had, it was a very forgiving one. So even though you see a lot of puckers in there, that's really all me, because the fabric was being quite cooperative.
You can do serging. I don't see that you did serging once you cut your piece.
I did the serging is how I finished all of the sweater edges.
No, when you cut, you serge before you sew. So then it will not.
Oh, you mean on the brocade? No, the brocade was too, it wouldn't take, the serging would just pull the threads out when I tried to do that.
Wow.
It was very, very fraying.
When I have fabric like that, I'll put like a piece of paper. So then it holds it, and then I'll just rip that paper off when I'm finished.
Excellent idea. Yeah. Any suggestions on the biggest thing for me, and I busted 2 zippers just taking my dress form on and off, it was that when I put that woven to the fabric, it made it too narrow, right? Like it held it in place because there's interfacing on the inside of the stretchy part, right? To keep it so that it could hang the
Right.
non-stretchy part off of it. But that sort of locked it in and took its elasticity away. So, and then everything's at these funky angles. So any suggestions if I was going to take another jacket and another sweater and do this again, because I'm looking for things that can be repeated.
I think that you have a really cool ideas, but I just think that you fabricated, you could have done better with more current fabrications. I think that so you'd like to do a jacket with a knit. Is that what you're saying, and make it into a dress?
Yeah, and by more current fabrications, you mean the prints are really dated because I have dated materials?
Yes. So I think you should try like, I think that what would sell would be like if you could find, I mean, I know you got to find whatever's there, but like jackets with possibly stretch and sweatshirts to go with it as a knit.
So
And it
use,
makes it more
so rather than using a woven on the bottom, use a knit on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can use a woven on the bottom or on the top, or a knit on the bottom or on the top. But I think that you need to pick more current fabrications and things that are easier to work with. Like if you found sweatshirts instead of sweaters, you're not going to have that issue, and it's going to make it look current. You're not going to have the issue of it all fraying, and or it's going to, I think, work a little bit better with you versus. And it's going to look more current. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I'm hearing from you is that the materials that I had to work with were dated designs, and it doesn't make it feel current.
Yeah, and I think you made it a lot harder than you needed to make it. I think it's a cool idea. I just think you should start with like easier fabrications. Ro, what do you think? Ro, what do you think? Am I making myself clear?
Yes.
Because I think you chose like two of the most difficult fabrics.
And
you know what else?
Also, what you did, the length that you did, they can wear it with leggings.
Correct. I thought so too. Another thing you could do is like white shirts, or taking apart white shirts with either sweatshirts or wovens.
And mixing them together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also you're pushing me towards
But,
something that's more wearable and more sellable, like more, because I was really trying for something that was more editorial that I could shoot.
Okay. You know what else you could do?
No, tell me.
Men's shirtings with knits.
I'm not following that.
Okay, let's see if she took like
saying different materials, so I could use a men's shirt for the skirt part. So it would be similar, and the arms would still be used as big pleats.
Oh, with knits.
And maybe a sweatshirt for a fleece or something like that for the other half, or use a men's shirt on top and use something else on the bottom. So she's saying just materials that are much more accessible to people and more common would make it feel more current.
And also too, you know what else I've seen? I've seen people that have taken like that kind of like an old shirt look, kept the sleeves and used it as a belt. Like as far as like tied it in the front.
Yeah, I could do that. So something that I've seen other people do. I'm not as excited to, do that as to try and come up with something that I've done that I could do that.
Whatever you can do that we can wear. I get it. It's editorial, but then there's got to be a way to wear it as well. Because there's not that much we can do at the moment with editorial. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was specifically thinking of doing a photo shoot with it, though So
That you can totally, yeah, I mean, and it might look totally awesome. I'm just, as you move forward, I think you're gonna find it to be a lot easier with more accessible fabrications. I mean, you chose two very difficult fabrics, but I think it's a really cool idea, and I like the way you put them all together. I just want to be able to wear that shit.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like the idea. I mean, I like the idea and where you were going with it.
Uh-huh. So in terms of execution, are there any suggestions for making it work with the fabrics I have? Like at this point where I feel like it's not working is the length, which is not hard for me to solve. And this whole, it's too narrow, this whole like waist thing. I mean, one thing I could do is just look for a smaller model and put a seam down there. At this point, I have the zip up the front. That's the main way to like give it enough room to go over the shoulders.
Yeah, probably a smaller model is going to be your best bet.
Okay. Well, thanks, you guys. That's good input, and especially Joan. Thank you so much. And let's move on to who wants to go next, Maria or Anne?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Let me share the screen. Okay. Designer challenge number 2. I went and got some curtains from Goodwill. And this is a living room curtain. And my design was to really cinch on the waist.
Oh, pretty.
Thank you. Using the rings of that as a belt. But then I realized that I didn't have enough organza part. So while I put all my patterns and stuff, those are the rings that I took out. And here's me cutting the rings out to make sure I have it as a belt. Then the organza part was too small to make it all the way to the waist. So I did it, like the Empress cut. And the rings, I use it as part of the belt. And here's the whole dress. And this part of the wedding, my wedding bunch that I'm doing, since my daughter Katie is getting married.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So this is a little video.
Is she really?
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Has pockets in both sides.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, now we had to think about the social media, and we can't get away from the phones. So pictures for everywhere. Yep.
Oh, the back.
That's it. And I go back to where is it? I'll go back to unshare, stop sharing. And here it is.
Okay, you know what would be really cool for all of you to do moving forward on like the next challenge or so? If you guys all stayed in this, like if you just made one more, if you just had one more category of staying in the same color scheme, and then you guys could all have like a mini collection together.
Oh, I would love to
would be
collaborate on a collection.
That would be nice.
It doesn't necessarily, that way it would just like good photo ops, good, you know what I mean? It all kind of works together. It's like 4 different women in 4 different parts of the area doing 4 different things, but this is what we all did together, which makes this collaboration look like boom. And then you guys,
I would love to do that. Like
collection.
yeah, a little group
Right.
collection, I think would be super fun. I think we can,
yeah.
that's a great idea. I think we're gonna.
And our first challenge, I made a pantsuit wedding dress.
Oh, so pretty. So pretty. You want to show that to Joan? Like do you have that on your computer still?
Here it
I'm
is.
gonna roll it in and show it to you.
Here it is.
Okay, so pretty.
Halter top with an overlay.
And then you can undo this and have it for any occasion.
Yeah.
With a belt.
Okay, just so you know, Ro, that I did take the train off of my dress in the 90s. Like it was a straight wedding dress. I only wanted a straight because I was like so skinny back in the day. And then I did take it off. And also too, Staci, when I saw your fabric, my wedding dress, my bridesmaids, we went down to, I was in Manhattan at the time. We went down to Chinatown and my bridesmaids wore the traditional Chinese red dresses.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So it kind of reminds me of like what I did back in the day,
Cool.
which of
Hey,
course.
Joan, can you turn your camera back down so it hits your face again? We're losing. There you go.
There you
We're
go.
just getting your eyes. It's just so much nice. We see so little of other people's faces these days. It's just, we just want, oh, now it's your eyes again.
Maybe I need like a different stool. Hold on, I'll go get a phone book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any
Oh,
other
say hi to the-
feedback from Maria while Joan's getting
Wait,
it?
no, look who's here, Big Daddy. Remember my
Oh,
student?
hi. How are you?
How are you? I'm
Good.
taking a call.
Fun. Maria, other than the fabric, you said you had to adjust the bodice and stuff. Was the fabric what you thought it was going to be to work with?
Yeah, because I usually when I go and buy, and if it's a curtain, I try to touch the material so I know it's workable. And this is 100% polyester taffeta, and as well as polyester organza. So yeah, I have no difficulties, and then the rings happen to have I had to cut and then in between open it up and kind of take all the fabric inside, and then I bought a glue. Well, I had the glue that is for jewelry and it glues metal. So that's how I put them on. And a friend of mine gave me that ribbon and it happens to match that. So yeah.
Nice.
What kind of price point would you put on this?
On this one, I will say $300.
Ugh.
What do you think, Joan?
Let me see that dress again, Rob.
And you said it was 12.
Let me see the dress.
You want me to share a picture so you can analyze?
Yeah, share
Yeah.
the picture. You have the video from last time, or the presentation you did, I think.
Okay, hold on. Do you see it?
Yeah. I mean, I know your construction, so I'm sure it's very good, but it should be twice the price.
Oh, really? Yeah, and it's lined. I always do everything lined. And it has a little opening in the back.
If we were gonna sell that at Mario's from like a designer, like, you know, like someone that has like a little bit more of a customer base, it would be like $2,000.
Wow.
Would it be, if you were going to sell that, would the polyester be a challenge, or would it need to
Yes,
be in a nice-
100%. We'd have to switch it out fabrication wise. Yeah. But we would probably sell that dress between $1,600 and $2,200.
Wow.
But then it would be out of silks, right?
Correct. You can look at like what Carolina Herrera's doing, or Olivine, or I mean, I'll show you the different designers on the Mario's
Yeah,
website.
I have. I've been buying stuff from people that you know, like state sales and stuff, and I have found really nice silk.
Yeah, and what wasn't one of your last designs was silk too, wasn't it? The one in between the wedding dress and this one.
Yeah, it was a
Dupioni.
Duponi. There, here it is. Let's see. This, take this. Yeah. DuPont. See, and this is the one.
Ready.
Yeah. This is the silk Duponi that somebody I made a dress, a second wedding dress for a lady, and I had enough so I can do this dress. And this skirt, it's a curtain.
Okay, and do you know which time, as far as trends and historics repeating themselves, do you guys know which era of time they're comparing the United States to at this point?
No, what
Yeah.
time?
Well,
The
it's
Nazi
gonna
era?
be the Roaring 20s, right?
Heard that a lot last year.
I
Yeah, we
heard
heard the
Roaring
Roaring
20s
So
when we get out of lockdown.
Right, but what is it? What's happening now? Do you guys know? It's
Depression
like what
era?
happened during the Civil War and after the Civil War.
Yeah, we're kind of in the 40s and 50s, and the
So
40s,
they're
50s.
referring to like what's going on in our country right now is like what was happening during the Civil War. And do you guys remember like
Yeah, they're
uh,
recycling the materials.
remember Gone with the Wind where she like makes the dress out of the
A
curtains?
curtain.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Hey, Maria, will you pop back out of share screen so we can see Joan when she's talking?
I see. Okay.
So like when you're telling your story, you could definitely like you want to make sure you make reference to the past, bringing it into the future with your rebuild creations on how you're going to present that. So, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like if you use like when Scarlett, like she sees like it would be cool if you're like, well, this was the challenge. First, here are the curtains in Scarlett's house, remember? And then she gets the dress made out of the curtains.
And Maria,
So
could
it
you
would-
stop sharing screen so that we can see people when they're talking? Are you trying to show us something else, hon?
Oh, no.
Can you
Sorry.
stop sharing screen so that we can see people?
So
It should be at the top.
Thank you.
that would,
Sorry.
yeah, that would be my suggestion to also add that in part of how you present it of the challenge and how you're going to tell everybody what you did it. If you gave like a little historical something or drew reference on it, just makes it more, it just makes it more relevant right now.
That's nice for Yanique too, since she was also working with drapes that she's repurposing.
Right. Yeah, whatever. So I think that that could be really cool since you guys decided, I don't know, something really cool. That was just,
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Let's.
It would be a dress with a story.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Know how you know where the dress come from.
I think having a story around our clothes is always really, really valuable. Okay.
That's why people, it's all about the story, guys. It's all about the branding story. And there's nothing more fabulous than 4 women doing this over a Zoom during COVID.
Oh, thank you.
You're making it work. You guys are making it work. You are figuring it out. You are making it work. You have sisterhood, camaraderie. You're doing it all.
Awesome.
Right. And we're, again, like Couture, right this second. Remember, trends start at the top or the bottom. And right now, we're all starting at the bottom again. So everything we're doing is very organically fabulous.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
I'm telling you, I totally rock like COVID. COVID has been, I've had so much freaking fun during COVID because, well, we'll tell you, I'm like used to making, I always say, turn shit into gold. But I'm always like, whatever it is, I have to always start at the bottom and build it back up again. And that's where like the creativity kind of comes in and you got to make it out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? And people are really friggin' into that. And they should be, because you know what? It's going to last. It's what makes us not shallow. It's what makes us have depth. It makes us relatable.
Nice, nice. Okay. If it's okay, I'd like to go on to Anne so that we can kind of wrap up in a reasonable amount.
Yeah, and I go get
Close to
some.
when I told you we would. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you guys did elaborate draped concoctions. This time I was trying to come up with what I feel could make money. And my concept was to make little boys' pink shirts or floral or in the pink genre. I have a clothing background, years of working places, then raised my kids, and then I started as a preschool teacher and then became a parent educator. And right before COVID, we had moved to Seattle in a little apartment for my husband's job, so I was nannying. And in all those nanny and parent websites, lots of parents in progressive Seattle are choosing to not gender their kids and let their kids choose the clothes they want, the colors they want, kind of non-binary.
I'm going to tell you, that is fucking fabulous.
There's a place for this. So I went on Etsy and I looked for boys' pink shirts and there were none. The two that they had were horrible. So that was my challenge, is to make a little kid's pink shirt. So I'll pull up my screen share and tell you. So I went to 4 thrift stores. Normally, if I was doing this project and knew that it was in the back of my mind, I would have collected nice fabrics. You can only see the screen share, right?
Yeah, I think that's all that records.
So I'll go through that and then I'll show you other fabrics when I'm done.
Okay.
So I only have girls. This is the only boys pattern I had, and it was infant, and I wanted to make size 4 because teaching preschool, the size 3, 4, 5-year-old kids were the ones that were verbal enough to look at their parents and say, pink is my favorite color, I want a pink shirt. So after 4 trips to the thrift stores, I finally found this pink women's dress, and I cut it apart. And I had to totally rework my pattern into a boy's size 4. Because I wasn't going to go to the store and I didn't have one. So that was my drafting. And then I had to deconstruct the dress, of course. It was plaid or buffalo checks, so I wanted to line up all the plaid. Notching. A lot of people on this website are brand new sewers. So the biggest revelation I had when I started to sew was when you're cutting the notches in a commercial pattern, you just snip it. And then this was my final product. And this little guy is my nephew. And I have 2 of them, Dean and Owen, but don't ask me which one is Dean and which one's Owen. When I came, they each had a separate color on. And these little guys, it's COVID, they haven't gone to preschool yet, and they only know each other. So they didn't have a concept of a pink shirt. When I asked them what the color was, they wouldn't say the word pink. They said the shirt was blue. And I know they know their colors, but in working in Seattle and working at co-op preschools, in kids in homes that are more diverse, kids definitely knew it. Kids that like the color pink definitely knew what pink was. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my screen share and come back to, if I were digging in my own closet, I would have, and wanted to, I would have cut up my J. Crew pajamas, or I would have cut up a cool floral. I am picky about the type of fabric. I want cotton, something that would feel good on kids' skin. So like I said, I would have to have my eyes open for those fabrics. But I think, and I love Joan's feedback, but I think that there's a market for that.
I think when I heard Joan say that there's a market for it, and that you talk about it as non-binary, I am 100% on board with that. I'm like, yeah, kids should choose their own. I also can reflect back to you. I think the color of the fabric that you worked with wasn't as vivid of a pink, so it wasn't really, it didn't demonstrate your idea as well as you wanted. But I loved it.
Yeah. That pink one that you.
How much would you retail?
The pink.
Yanique, say your comment again.
No, I was saying the pink one that you would have gotten from your closet. No, that's a pink.
Yeah. And floral, I think, would be cool. Now, if it was a really quality fabric, me in my mind, I'd charge 15 or 20, but I think it realistically, I should charge like $24.99.
Right, I agree with you. And I totally love the fact that those like even like like to make kids shirts, like even if you did, first of all, can you imagine the photo shoot with just like a whole family with the different color shirts on in the
Yeah.
same, that is like, well, so it's like, these are the unisex shirts. They're $24. Get it on Andy Cohen's kid, send one to Anderson Cooper, make sure they're the same one. You know what I mean? But there's like a lot of kids like, hey, you know what? It's not the way I raised Claire, but you know, so many women, or well, I guess they're probably like in like around 35 now.
Mhm.
They're like, we're gonna let the baby
Mhm.
choose their own gender. And I'm like,
Right.
knock yourself out.
Right.
Whatever. And this is what I used to tell my students all the time. Your job is not to judge. Your job is to figure out how to make $1.
So I have a question around that. So you were suggesting a price point of about $25. How much labor is it to do the shirt? Because I took a class in shirts and it took us forever to get through that.
Well, and
friggin' shirt.
I was afraid of that too. I was kind of surprised. I did a short sleeve shirt without a button cuff, which helped. But I did do a 2-piece collar and had to hand stitch the yoke. I really did take my time. I did French seams on the shoulders, serged. Everything's finished with a shirt tail bottom. And I haven't done the buttons and buttonholes, so I'm going to say it was 4 hours altogether for my first shirt. So I think I could do it quicker than that. And I think the idea would be to try to sew them in more of a multiple fashion.
So if it was 3 hours for just the
20,
construction,
yeah,
right?
you'd
I
want
mean,
60.
assuming you
Yeah.
already have the pattern. Yeah, minimum wage is what, 15?
Yeah,
So you're at 60 for a price point. So the
right.
so
So is it viable for a moneymaker?
and there's also the time to gather the materials to repurpose. And this is a challenge that we all have with recycling. But so the question is there, I mean, are there subcontractors? I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
we're
Right.
talking about a price point where you're losing money if you're working at
Mhm.
minimum wage.
But the other thing is, you have that shirt, and you could just make that longer and make it into a shirt dress too.
Right.
So it's like, you know what I mean? In case, but that's something else that you could move into the next iteration of it.
Right. Right.
But if you do it like one size, not one size, but whether unisex, let's just call it gender fluid, that is going to not necessarily bring your cost down, but you won't have to grade it for a little boy or a little girl.
Right.
So that could be something, but yeah, I think it's something. I do. I think it's something. We just have to work on.
Right. And, you know, I did draft the pattern and a bunch of other stuff. So I'll probably do it again, see if I could get it down to like 2 hours and then judge if it was a really high quality fabric, or if people were sending me like shirts or garments or fabric that meant something to them and then was making their child a shirt from that, maybe I could raise the price point.
Yeah, I'd like to see somehow for you to get into the $60 range.
Yeah.
You know, whatever value add we can give to it, so that and even so at some point, you know, you want subcontractors because you would be the designer and managing the business side of it, you know. But just first of all, to get it to the point where your labor is worth it, because otherwise you could get all these orders for $25 shirts and you're actually going broke on them, right? Because you're
right.
So
yeah.
But your idea, I think, is really golden. And if there's nothing on Etsy, I mean, if there's nothing out there, I feel like the gender neutral marketing angle could be really fertile, and maybe you can get the price point just based on that, and that you're working with quality materials, and your idea of sentimental value, that it's a rework of something that has sentimental value, is gold.
Maybe a spin for that.
The custom.
Also too, you could do, you remember like the old preppy pants back in the day, they were the corduroys. They used to have like waddle corduroys and they were like pink and green on one leg and then like blue, royal blue and red on the other leg, or like the patchworks. So it's like if you mixed like the different fabrics together, blues, pinks, yellows, whatever, that could be really great too. And but do it like really bright. Brights are selling. Everybody wants to be happy right this second. If you did florals and mixing the florals and mixing patterns together, but do it in a very bright way, fun, whimsical, that is selling.
Really?
So I had a question for Joan. So what would be a price point for the dress that I made, the gown that I made? And that
This
was
one?
7 hour, yeah, that was 7 hours of labor from start to finish.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. I can only see what I can see, but like I would think over 800. Like I would charge probably. I don't know where you are, who your customer base is, but like 1,200. But if you wanted to, that is a lot of dress for anything under 1,000.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And girls, like anytime you want to like talk, like we can talk about different markets. We could talk about the designers to look for. We could talk about kind of what's going on in the market. I don't want to come in like tell you like how everything's like really, really high end, but I'm looking at this thing that looks like it's extremely well constructed and that anybody should really want to wear that. I mean, I know what Roe does and I know the construction. So does that make sense? So from what I can tell you, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
We'd love to have you back sometime in the future too, if you enjoyed being here, and you know, if you might want to come back, that we'd love
Just
to
let me
talk to you
know.
again. Now you
Good
know the
time.
deal.
Yeah, it was so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'll stop into Mario's and say hi to you.
Okay, great. I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and 11 to 3 on Thursday.
Okay.
So I'm not. Where do you live now?
I'm down in Olympia.
And Joan, you're up in
Yes.
Seattle, right?
Yeah.
I live in the Seattle area.
Excellent.
Thank you, Joan. It was really nice to see you.
Thank you so
Really?
much for being here with us. We totally
Yes.
appreciate it.
We really
Anytime,
enjoy your
girls.
input. It helped us a lot.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Very fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.